The space of the alleyway is said to have been the size of maybe like half a classroom. Think of that many people in this small amount of space. They're not able to communicate because the music is so loud. The floors are uneven. It's so easy to trip. It's just insane. Obviously, I don't know what that would have felt like. I've never been in that situation. But there were a lot of people who survived the surge. And they described it as, I saw a man with this flashing baton trying to signal people to move back, but you can't move back. It doesn't even matter if someone's giving you directions. It's so crowded. You can't move. Even if everyone wants to move, you can't move. This is a multiple-part episode. Part 1 and 2 have been uploaded. So, like I said, this crowd surge was different from the first one. The first one that I told you about that didn't turn into an accident because the woman on the ledge, there were way too many people this time. So even if there were people taking initiative trying to navigate the crowds, there was no space. The amount of coordination something like that would have taken nearly impossible in these conditions. And even then, who knows if it would have worked. People in the crowd said that they saw several people trying to look up at the sky, looking for some sort of direction, some air. They looked like they were getting lighted, like they were going to faint. They couldn't even reach their arms up to protect their lungs. So that's the first thing they tell you to do in a crowd search is to try to give your lungs space. So you put up your arms in almost a defensive boxing position. They couldn't even lift their arms. Most of the ones in the center of the crowd, they couldn't even reach their hands to look at their phones that they were holding in their hands. Many of them had missed calls from their parents. One mother texted her daughter, "Where are you? Where are you? I'm losing my mind. I'm going crazy because I'm so worried. Please respond just so I know where you are. Please just tell me you're safe." The mother had her daughter's name saved on her phone as my oldest princess. She would never respond. There is a video of the situation. Well, there's multiple videos of the situation where you can see just how dire the situation is. There's some videos where you can see a man trying to cling onto a brick that's protruding from the wall. And it's just really graphic. I know it might be puzzling. Some of the videos they show a different perspective where there looks to be some sort of space between the crowd and an opening. And I saw a lot of comments that were like, why don't they just all move forward? There's space. I don't get it. At this point, what the video isn't showing is that there's people stacked on top of each other on the ground in front of that space. There's no way for anyone standing to move forward. People had fallen. They were stacked so high the people behind them were blocked. It's said that the worst part of the crowd surge, people were stacked on top of each other, 13 feet tall. Situations like this, it's like a domino effect. One person falls down, and because of the force of others pressing into you, it's very likely that another person's going to fall. 13 feet, that's way taller than the ceiling. 'Cause it's going downhill and stuff. Again, this has nothing to do with anyone being drunk. I don't really like it when people make it out to be, oh, a bunch of drunk people. Of course, they're going to trip and fall. They're going to wreak havoc. This is more about just plain physics. It wouldn't matter if we're talking about church aims on a Sunday after drinking tea. This is about physics. It has nothing to do with alcohol because of the slope and inertia. Like I said, one person falls, it's going to be a domino effect. People are just going to start collapsing. And even if you don't fall, that doesn't mean that you're going to be fine. The pressure of all these people pushing into you, it would cause your lungs to not be able to inflate with oxygen. If 10 people are pushing onto you with their body weight and more, or let's say they're on top of you, which by the way, there looks to be way more than 10 people pushing onto everyone. Let's say they're on top of you. That could be similar to 1,000 pounds of weight pressing straight onto your chest. It's going to be very, very difficult for you to breathe. It's incredibly dangerous, incredibly real, incredibly terrifying. A person may lose consciousness 30 seconds after being severely crushed, and they would suffocate after about 6 minutes. Side note, I know a lot of people in the beginning when news first broke of what happened. I saw a lot of people wondering if it was a stampede, which is you're getting run over by a group of people like they're running on top of you. But it wasn't. It wasn't someone being trampled to death. This was more like quicksand, like being trapped in quicksand. People were pushing up against one another, falling, stacking on top of each other. It's like you're suffocating because you're unable to expand your chest to bring in air. Many of the victims would pass out while they were still standing up. So, it wasn't a stampede. It's categorized as a crowd surge. Most people who were in the crowd, they remembered vividly about how it felt. They were being lifted off the ground. Their feet weren't even touching the ground anymore. And that's why there's so many shoes that were left behind, because that's how strong, the pressure from all sides. They were just being pushed and shoved. And that pressure, it's like they're being held in the air by it. I imagine it's like the feeling of being caught in this powerful wave in the ocean. Like you don't stand a chance when you're there. Your body is pushed, shoved, thrown off balance. The force is so strong. Like, what can you do? And in this situation, survival might solely depend on where you're positioned when it happens. There's a 21-year-old Malaysian named Ragu, and he was lost in the crowd search. He called his best friend Kim while he was stuck in the crowd surge. And Kim said Ragu was this hard worker. He worked in construction so that he could earn money to send back to his parents back home in Malaysia. He was just this patient and kind soul that just wanted to support his family. He called him the crowd and he told his friend Kim, "I'm having a hard time breathing." He also told him, "There's a woman next to me who's fainting and I'm trying to get her medical attention. She needs help very quickly." He told Kim that he's trying to find ways to escape the crowd surge because this woman, this stranger, really needed help. Kim is anxiously staying on the phone with him, and I'm sure that he felt just helpless because he can't do anything for his friend. And then suddenly Ragu told him that the woman he was trying to save, the stranger next to him, her hand had gotten cold, and not too long after the phone was disconnected. That was the last time Kim would hear from his friend. He died that night. At around 10:30 p.m., the fire department starts receiving calls that 10 people have been pushed down to the ground and crushed. So again, I don't think it was just 10 people, but I think in the vicinity, people who were able to access their phones saw about 10 people. They reported that people were having difficulties breathing. A few minutes later, the first 4 ambulances were dispatched. Then 6 more came just a few moments later. Police officers start arriving at the scene, and they're unable to control the crowds. Now, it's important to note that there are, if you select police officers to judge for not taking action quicker, but a lot of the ones that were dispatched in this moment, they were just genuinely trying their best to help. They were not the ones making executive decisions of who goes where. They were going where their superiors told them to go. They were not the ones picking up the phone about this and crowd surge. They were just told to go there. So, they show up not knowing what's going on. There's a video. Police officer Kim, he wasn't even dispatched to the scene. He was on duty nearby, and he happened across the situation. So, he stops and he tries to take action. He said that when he got to the alleyway, he made his way through the crowd. He saw that regular civilians, were already taking initiative, pulling people out and doing CPR on them. So, he's like, okay, this is what we need to do. We need to try to figure out the best course of action in this chaos. He and his colleague decide that the best thing that they can do is redirect the crowds to stay away from the alleyway, away from the Hamilton Hotel, because you add more people in the mix. It's just not good. They also needed space for rescue work. So he starts trying to direct the crowds, and it was hard. So, these crowds, most of these people have no idea what's going on in the alleyway. These are people that are about to funnel into the alleyway and they're moving past him, and he's in police uniform, but so are a lot of people. Oh, it's Halloween. And he's trying to get everyone to walk away from the alleyway because it's utter chaos over there. People are dying. People are suffocating, falling down, collapsing. And if you watch the video of him, There's like this almost primal desperation in his eyes. He's trying to talk to the people that are moving away from him. And these people, they're inches away from his face, and it seems like nobody's listening. Either they can't hear them through the music. It's nightmare fuel. When you're screaming, no one can hear you. You're the only one that knows that doom is happening. There's panic. He's trying to scream over the music. Please go home. Do us a favor, everyone. Please go home. Don't go further. Please go back. Please don't go forward. You can literally feel the fear through the video. He's trying to yell at them to go the other way, away from the search. He tried his best to warn the crowds. He tried to warn everyone that people were dying and they all needed to leave. It was dangerous, and nobody was really listening. He was later interviewed, and he said that he didn't have a megaphone on him because he wasn't dispatched to the scene. He was just on duty. He stumbled upon the dire situation. So I imagine he wasn't even driving around in like a cop car. I imagine that he was like on patrol duty. He said if we went back to the precinct to get a megaphone, we would have lost too much valuable time. And he cried on the interview and he said, in the end, a lot of people ended up dying. And I kept thinking to myself, if I had hurried, if I had a megaphone on me, if I handled the situation differently in a better way, maybe we might have saved one more person.
경찰관들 그리고 이동의 시민분들이 정말 발벗고 나서서 구조를 해주셨는데 결과적으로는 많은 분들이 돌아가셨잖아요. 저는 그래서 말씀드린 대로 제가 좀 급하게라도 좀 확성기라도 챙겨서 가져갔으면은 또는 다른 더 좋은 방법으로 구조활동을 펼쳤다면은 한 분이라도 더 살렸을 것 같은데 그것 때문에 참 유족분들께 너무 면목이 없고 죄송한 마음밖에 없습니다.
And that's why I'm at a loss for words, and I'm so sorry to the families who have lost their loved ones. He said, I tried my best to rescue them, and I'm sorry. I just couldn't. I couldn't. The situation literally couldn't have been worse. I know there's a lot of discourse about what's wrong with these partygoers. People are dying. Why aren't they listening to the police? What's wrong with them? But that's not everyone. I mean, I would like to believe it was a small group of people. It's not like everyone just stood around watching. Part 4 will be uploaded shortly.